Good morning, everyone. We are so excited to be together today with some of our dearest friends, and you are going to love this. So please share it with everyone you know. This is a miracle story.
Yes, it is. And we're so glad to have the Gates with us. And as you're listening, we would love to see where you are listening from. So if you want to put that in the comments, that would be awesome.
And thanks to all of our friends from High Five Live and all the hard work they do to make this possible. It's exciting, and please watch for those messages every day. We're already having people click on, and welcome to all of you.
Yes, and we are excited today. We just had this little brainstorm that these two need to be on High Five Live with us and share their crazy adventure, the miracles that happened to them. And so let's just give a little background first.
Would tell you that I know it doesn't look like it, but Kriss and I actually went to high school together, and she's so young looking and vibrant and all that. But anyway, we did. And I could tell you all kinds of stories about that, but we're going to skip that for today because she might tell stories back.
And that might not be good. Okay.
And our daughters
went
to college together and became dear friends, and they still are. So
that's right.
Lots of fun ties with this wonderful family. And we've had a chance to visit them in their former home in California, and lots of great things. So
that's right.
But today is about a miracle.
Yes,
Let's
it is.
give you a little background to their bio.
So Kriss Gates graduated from BYU in education, and Ed Gates graduated from the U of U in University of Utah, I should say, in business finance. Finance,
if you're in the South.
After graduating, Ed knew immediately that he wanted to work in construction as a hands-on general contractor. And so for 42 years, he worked with subcontractors of many trades.
Wow, 42 years.
He was always fascinated, and Kriss said he was driven to learn all he could about the work in each of the trades and how it was performed in detail.
Interesting that he was so prepared.
Yes. And during all this time, Kriss ran the office, right? So the Gates' first mission was in 2010, and we'll learn more about that. I don't want to give away secrets.
Yeah, no, we're holding that for a minute later. You can tell us.
We are. Anyway, so these two are just dedicated souls.
Total dedicated disciples.
When the Lord calls, they are there. And they raised their 6 children in California. And that's when we were able to visit them there. And now they are in North Carolina, and they are having fun, spending time with their 25 grandchildren and 1 great-grandson, who isn't very old now, right? How old is he?
4 months.
4 months. All right.
Our first great-grandchild is 3 months.
Yeah.
We just became great-grandparents too, so exciting.
It is exciting. Oh, so as we begin, tell us about your mission call to the Congo and just the surprise that you got when
or wherever you were called.
Yeah, your first call, we should say, and then the surprise.
Ever since we were married, we talked about going on a mission together as couples because I didn't have that opportunity before we got married. And so there was, in the olden days, like 10, 20 years ago, there was a thing called the blue sheet that they would post in the hallway of our chapel. And it was a list of all the available places senior couples were needed. And so as we, for years, we'd flip through that blue sheet and say, oh, that would be fun, that would be fun, that would be fun. But when it was finally time for us to apply, we were asked where we would like to go or if we had any preferences, unless the Lord had other plans. And I put down, oh, yes, we would love to go to Europe. We love to travel to Europe. That would be really fun. And I put in a couple of other things. Well, when one of the things when we were really ready to turn in our papers was Nauvoo was looking for builders or people to work in Nauvoo. I thought, oh, this is perfect. This is so perfect. And they'll build, and I will go, and I will tour guide, and I will sing and dance in the programs.
Oh, yeah, it'd be perfect.
I would have loved it.
Yeah, but when they said that I would have to do the same, then I knew it was
So we actually flew out to Nauvoo. We talked to them. They said, we'd love to have you. As soon as you turn in your papers, let us know and we'll tag you. Okay, that sounds great. So then the mission call came and was so exciting when we opened it, and everybody was thinking, okay, they're going to Nauvoo. And we opened it and it said we were called to Athens, Greece. Wow. I mean, how much more European can you get? We took Greek classes from the MTC. Ed was assigned to be a counselor in Thessalonica.
I can talk to the branch president of the
Yes, and we were
Sky.
all prepared and ready to go to Greece. And on the night before our farewell, we had a big Greece party at the beach in California with Greek decorations and
Of course.
An hour and a half, the next morning, an hour and a half before that was to start, our state president called us and said, have you guys heard from the mission department? I've been out of town, but I have an email here you're going to be interested in. And we were like, oh, okay, no, we haven't heard anything. And our mission president told us that our call had been changed and that the Lord needed us to go to the Democratic Republic of Congo. And
They don't speak Greek in Congo.
would we accept that call? And we just held each other in our arms. We were out in the backyard because it was so noisy inside with all the kids that were visiting. And we knew without a shadow of a doubt that's where we were supposed to go. Yes.
So we went to church the next morning, and I had
that morning.
that morning, but I had only called the bishop and told him that what the situation was and didn't want him to tell anything else. So we got there. I went early because my wife was so worried about her talk that she ought to prepare for Greece that she had to change something. So as I'm up on the stand by myself, my kids are on the front row, and Brother Christofferson, who is one of the brothers of the elder Christofferson, they all started crying because the song they were singing, I'll go where you want me to go. And they all knew where we were going to go, and no one else did. So when we got started, before she was called up to speak, I went up and I said, all you that are going to come and visit us, because we had so many people wanting to come to Athens, Greece and visit us, you may have to change your plans because our mission call has been changed and we're going to the Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa. And we turned around and sat down. So then we went ahead with our talks. Well, afterwards, all the guys that I associated with, I was a counselor to one of the bishops, and he came up. He says, now, you really are joking, aren't you? And I said, no, we're really good. Several people did not believe, even after
Thought you were kidding.
Congo.
Oh, my.
Oh,
That's the
So
So not only did you do one mission, but you did 3.
yeah,
That is unbelievable. How were they different? And tell us about your missions.
Okay, so that was the first mission, is where we worked with the elders and also the branch presidents in 2 branches in the city we were in. And we were to instruct the branch presidents on policies, and Kriss worked real hard with the relief society and the primary. But working with the elders was just a lot of fun because it was just like I was back on a mission and gave her a feel for what a missionary life was like as a young person.
So on the first mission, we were learning to love the culture and the people. We were being prepared.
Yeah.
And then we came back from there, and one day I went back to work, and I got a call, and he said, this is Brother such and such from the church. We would wonder if you would be willing to go to Africa on a mission. And I said, well, what part of the missionary department are you from? He said, I'm not from the missionary department. I'm from the HR department. And I said, well, how much will I earn when I go? And he said, oh, no, you're still being an elder. So they called me to be an instructor to teach instruction to young returned missionaries. And my wife and I went off, and she became the, as they say, principal of the school. And we had classes that would last 90 days. And when they graduated, they went on and tried to get a job. We were able to do our schooling on the actual sites of temples, chapels that were being built by a contractor that was from the United States. And so I was able to teach construction to several of our students. And what else?
Wow, talk about preparation, huh?
So you have to understand, this is a third world country. That building is nothing like the building that we know. There's no decent equipment. There are no good materials there. The labor mentality, well, let's just say it was definitely the opposite end of the spectrum than temple quality.
Well, one of the problems in what we were doing there was we found out that, of course, it's 95% unemployment. So these young men are coming, and we thought, well, at least we can teach them how to build their own home and have something like that. But every person you talk to, they could do anything. They could do plumbing. They could do electric. They thought they could. But we learned fairly quickly that wasn't true. I got awfully scared a couple of times when I showed them a handsaw that had a motor on it. And they grabbed their saw and said, we can do it this way. And I actually had a guy get up on top of the table and take the handsaw, and he would saw a board off going like that. So we knew that they
had work to do.
Yeah.
So in recognition, we were being prepared for the world of construction in Kinshasa, in the Congo.
I'll say.
Our third mission, which actually the call was for 32 months, not a 18 or 2 year, but it was a 32-month mission call. We had talked to the people in the project, people in Salt Lake about the temple, and we didn't really realize we were going to get the call, but we did get the call, and so we were called, and the first question my wife had was, well, what will we be doing? Will we sharing pictures? And she says, well, you mean my husband won't be able to do any work, pick up a hammer or put a tool wheel on? Oh no, all you need to do is all you're going to do, your responsibility is to bring the spirit to the temple site and answer any questions that people may have that come by. You're not to interact with any of the subcontractors. You can interact with the contractor, but not the subcontractors or any of the workers.
So that was your job description.
That's my job description.
Very reverently in the beautiful tower of the church office building.
Not the Congo.
So,
Wow.
Wow, is right. Oh my goodness.
hey,
So these three missions were really different. And when you got to this third one and it began like that, what was it like to actually go there and start building the temple?
What were some of your favorite experiences?
Well, I guess we were asked to do that, but right after about 3 or 4 weeks into the job, maybe a little longer than that, they first had asked me when they should start, and they didn't adhere to what I said. I said, you shouldn't start until such and such, but they started. It rained, but they certainly learned very quickly that there is no inspections in the Congo, and the project manager lives in South Africa, which is a airport and a half ride away. So they changed my assignment, that they called me to be the inspector of the project.
Wow.
So I'm now going to interact with the contractor. I was now going to interact with the subcontractors, and I was going to interact with the people that were doing the work.
Thankfully.
Yes.
Thankfully, a lot of people they used was African, but the contractor was able to bring some good quality people come in, but they also became teachers, and they were assigned some of our people and to work through that.
Wow.
so along with the inspector, he'd say, oh, no, that's not going to do. But they would have no idea how to do it correctly. But they were just like sponges. They were wonderful people that Ed would say, okay, this is how you build a block. And this is what you need to do to make it so that the sides are straight and so that the mortar isn't all squishing out. And when you lay the pavers, this is how you make them straight. Or when you do the plumbing and it explodes because they didn't put any glue in it and have to take it all out. And then Ed would say, no, this is how you connect the pipes with glue on.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So do you have some photos to show us of
Yeah.
this experience in the temple?
We had a wonderful experience when we were pouring the slabs in the celestial room. One of the workers said, look, and he pointed up to the sky. Now, this was when we finally had the celestial room. Let me do the first.
Mhm.
We're a little technical difficulty.
Very great.
Grandson, who's our techie, is going to show us there, that one first. Okay,
You need him to wave at us.
we have this wonderful. No, that one down.
No, it's showing up.
Okay. Oh, it is?
Mhm.
It's showing the halo?
Yep, we're ready.
Okay,
That's what they're seeing.
Okay, great. And we looked up in the sky, and there was a beautiful halo around the sun, which is a rare phenomenon. And so it was very, very special. We all thought, laughed and said, oh, that's the heavens celebrating because building the temple. But then 5 months later, I was inside and was very prompted to go out of my office and look up at the sky, and we opened the door. And it was so bright that I felt a little bit like the Joseph Smith story, protecting my eyes. It was so bright. And then I looked up, and there was our second halo. They're the only two we've ever seen. And I went down and pointed it out to the workers, and they were so thrilled to be able to. Can you see the workers?
Yes.
On yours?
Yes.
Oh, great. And so I went down, and the workers looked up, and all of us had tears in our eyes as they kept working because the concrete was pouring out. And I had a little boombox with me, and I started to play the music for the Lord has need of willing men. And these men sang to their as loud as they could, and it's pretty loud.
Not only the students, all these people probably in this picture are many of the students we have, but not only the students who are members, the non-members, because we in our morning meetings in our what do you call them again?
Devotional?
In our devotionals every Monday morning we would sing all these songs, and those guys, the non-members, were singing right along with them.
That's amazing.
This picture you're looking at is when we are pouring it's called the Presidium beam between the celestial room and the instruction room, and they were just completing this when this phenomenon or this miracle in our lives came about.
And it lasted until the last of the item was, the last of the concrete was pumped out in the celestial room again. And then they pulled the pump out to move the crane. The halo faded away.
Wow.
What I feel like now is, the beautiful picture that has the woman who's kneeling and it shows all the angels up above?
Yeah.
Well, we feel that the miracle on this day was all of the ancestors of those good people who were getting a temple, and that they were the ones that were celebrating up in heaven.
I believe that.
Totally.
What a beautiful miracle.
Wow.
And I know you had miracles with involving the primary children in the building of the temple. Do you want to share anything about that?
Do I have a minute?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, we decided to have all of the children in the temple district get a rock. And so I don't think I have a picture of it. right now, but definitely it was that we painted rocks from the Congo River and painted them white. We put them in little pouches and bags. We gave them to the stake presidents. The stake presidents took them out to the outlying areas. And there were about, I don't know, probably 100 different wards, and each ward had a packet. And we thought, man, this is going to be a miracle if these get out, let alone get back. And we gave them a timeline of when the slabs were going to be poured for the temple so that children could have their rocks in there. And over 1,500 rocks went out, given to the stake presidents, who had to give them to the bishops, who had to give them to the primary presidents, who gave them to the children to write their names and their birthdays on there. And we thought, what are the chances? You can't imagine what some of these villages are like. And every single ward got them back in on time. So we felt all of those little children were represented, and they knew that was their temple, and it was a part of them, and they were a part of it.
Part of the miracle was really trusting the line of authority through the area presidency, to the state presidents, and on down. But some of these rocks went way out into the bush. We're not talking just in Kinshasa, where there's 15 million, and there's a couple of states, and there's now 5 states. But the first group of people or kids that got their rocks back was out of the furthest away area that was in our mission, and that we got those back, and the pictures and the rocks were just amazing.
So from what I understand, I mean, they'd even come and pick up packs of these rocks and put them on their heads or whatever and carry them out into the bush somewhere. I mean, how they ever got back in time is just amazing.
I don't know if they put them on their heads, but when we first asked the area authority about taking them, we said, well, we can't take them on the plane because they'll think we're transporting diamonds.
Oh, wow.
That's a beautiful story.
Let me tell you, a little bit. When she says the rocks, we went down to by the river, and there were people there taking big rocks and making small rocks and setting a pile, and then we would buy that pile of rocks from them after they broke them up. So they were rocks that were handmade from big rocks, not just for us, but they did that as their livelihood. So that was really something in our eyes.
Oh, I just got to say, when I think about the miracle of every step in your experience and how the Lord prepared you to know the people and then prepared you to prepare the people so they could help on the temple and then sent you over there to build the temple. Do we have a picture of the temple? We would love to see. Oh, we've got the book. Yay.
This was my main responsibility. 300 pages. I don't know if you can.
They can see it.
Okay. 300-page book on the history of the building of the temple. And one was to go in the cornerstone, one in the office, one in the church archives, and one in the temple president's office. And then we got the 5th copy and are thrilled to have it because it documents everything that happened.
Oh, I can't imagine the work that went into that book.
I had 32 months to do it.
And you did it. It is beautiful. I've seen pictures of it on your blog.
Wow.
And this beautiful, beautiful temple.
This is miraculous. Look at that temple.
Look at that. Oh, it is just breathtakingly beautiful. So, and there you are. Oh, what a service you performed. Thank you. So many people.
So you're
are
also
being
telling us
influenced.
about an experience with Elder Bednar and a picture. Do we have that?
Did we get the picture?
Mhm.
Great story. Elder Bednar came to visit it. Okay, go ahead.
So we were told that Elder Bednar was coming to Africa, and that particular time Elder Bednar at the time we were on our mission, that must have been his area because we got to see him a couple of times. But we weren't sure whether we were going to see him on the site or not. But coming, lo and behold, he and his visitors that were with him came to the site at one of the most difficult times in our mission, where we had poured the baptismal font once, and we had to tear it down because they had missed a place, and there was a big hole in it, and the contractor says, well, we'll just patch it. And we said, no, we don't patch it. We tear it down. And then we did it, and we poured it again, but the batching company put the wrong additive in it, and when we were pouring it, it came out like water, and the next day it just fell apart. Well, the next day is the day then that Elder Bednar was visiting us, and so the contractor says, well, you're going to see something you probably don't see very often in the temple, and he viewed us tearing down the baptismal font for the second time. So it was very fun, and you
Okay.
can take over.
Okay.
Amazing.
This picture, you can see the picture of the boys now.
We will right here. Yep, there we are.
Great. All right. When we got there, we were given when Elder Bednar got there, we were given very specific instruction about being reverent, staying our distance. We were all coached by, I call them the Secret Service guys. I don't know what the real name is. But so we were the security detail. And no one was to bother him, approach him, etc. And that they had their own photographer that would be taking all the pictures. And so after he had heard, he came and said he wanted to hear the boys sing, the world has need of willing men, because we had shared the story about the halo. And so they all sang for him, and he said, could we get a picture with you? And it was kind of, could I? so
He was speaking to Kriss and I.
and so the men gathered around him for a picture, and those cameras were not out. They were down. It was very solemn, reverent picture of them around Elder Bednar. And then after they had clicked it and put the camera down, these characters were so excited about really meeting an apostle. They all got their selfies out, and they just went crazy, taking all the pictures. And so the photographer took a picture of them with their selfies. It was a very, very special opportunity. And this man said, would you like to shake hands? And he had about 30 men lined up in a line. And he went through the line and shook hands with every one of them and looked into their eyes and said, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. This
so
has been so beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh,
absolutely.
thank you for your great example.
And to all our viewers and those that will view later, if you would like to learn more about the miracles that happen in Kinshasa and the Gates and their experiences, you can just type in their names in the Kinshasa Temple. And there's some videos and some other things and a blog. And so feel free to learn more about this amazing, amazing couple and their experiences there. And please share this video too, as they have shared with us these miracles.
And it's obvious that this is the Lord's work and that he prepares us ahead of time for this miracle to happen. And it's all because of the wonderful message of the Savior. It allows people to come to a temple now in Kinshasa and have their families sealed forever. Thank you, Gates, so much. Thanks for your great dedication. We love you both.
Anything else you'd like to add before we close?
I just want to say with the conclusion of both the contractor and the subcontractors and ourselves said, this is a miracle that this building is as beautiful as it is as near perfect as he had ever built one of his temples. And he built several of them. So it's a miracle that temple is there.
That is
It
a
is an
miracle.
absolute miracle. And thank you for bringing that miracle about, you and the Lord.
Thank you
And
so
all
much.
those wonderful workers who now get to attend the temple, and the children grow up loving the temple.
So great.
It is all a miracle.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing today.
And thanks to all of you for being with us.
We love you. Bye.
Love you.